All right, let's dive into a topic that, affects so many long-term couples. We're talking about how to navigate intimacy and really how to rediscover that connection in a marriage. Think of it as a journey from routine back to romance. And we've got a roadmap to help you get there. So let's jump right in. Okay, so right out of the gate, we're going to bust the biggest myth there is. This isn't just some nice, hopeful thought. Nope, it's really the foundational truth for everything we're about to cover. This whole idea that being married means sex gets boring, we've got to throw that one out the window. But let's be real. If great sex in marriage is totally possible, then why does it so often feel, well, kind of distant? That's the real question, isn't it? It's that disconnect that so many of us feel, but maybe don't really know how to bring up. So to get to the bottom of that, we've got to look at the whole picture of a shared life, which brings us to our first big idea here, the myth of married sex and, the real life stuff that actually creates it. Here's the simple truth, right? When you become life partners, your priorities just shift. They have to. You're managing a home, you're building careers, maybe you're raising kids. These are huge, all-consuming tasks. Sex doesn't just vanish because you don't love each other anymore. It gets pushed to the back burner by, well, logistics. It becomes a habit you just kind of fall out of, and man, trying to get back into it can feel a little awkward. So, the first step isn't just about trying harder. It's actually about completely redefining what the goal is in the first place. And that leads us right into our next section, figuring out what good sex really, truly means for you. And honestly, the idea here is so simple, it's almost beautiful. Just forget everything you see in the movies or read in magazines. Good sex is whatever makes both of you feel good, feel loved, and feel fulfilled. That's it. Full stop. The definition has to come from inside your partnership, not from anywhere else. And check this out. This really shows that shift in thinking perfectly. On one hand, you've got all this cultural pressure telling us sex has to be frequent, it has to look a certain way, it's all about performance. But on the other hand, inside a real, healthy partnership, the focus is totally different. It's about finding a frequency you're both genuinely happy with. It's about doing what actually feels good to you. And it's about making connection the priority, not performance. And hey, this isn't just some nice idea we cooked up. This is straight up expert advice. The sex therapist Emily Morris says it herself. It all starts with you. Taking the time to understand what feels good for your own body, that's the absolute foundation for building pleasure together. It's the most essential first step you can take. Okay, so what does a healthy sex life actually look like day to day? Well, it turns out it's about all the stuff that happens outside the bedroom. We're talking about routine physical touch that isn't just a lead up to sex. Regular compliments and reassurances, actually making time for weekly date nights, having those deep, meaningful conversations, and yeah, even setting clear boundaries with family to protect your time as a couple. That whole idea that a great sex life is built on a foundation of everyday connection, that's so important that we're going to give it its own section. So let's look at some really practical ways you can build that intimacy outside the bedroom. All right, let's break this down into 3 simple things. Number 1, schedule those date nights, but with some ground rules. Put the phones away. No talking about work. No talking about the kids' schedules. The goal here is to reconnect as lovers, not just as partners. Number 2, bring back non-sexual touch. A hand on the arm, a squeeze on the shoulder. These tiny things build a bridge between your daily grind and your sex life. And number 3, compliment each other a lot. Telling your spouse what you like about them every day, that's a powerful way to show them you still desire them. And hey, if you're a little skeptical about the power of all that everyday affection, just take a look at this number. Yeah, you're seeing that right. 63%. That's how many people in a poll of over 1,000 readers said that simple things like kissing and cuddling make their sex lives better. That's a huge connection, right? It just proves that non-sexual intimacy and sexual satisfaction are totally linked. It's all one big thing. Okay, so once you've got that foundation of daily intimacy feeling strong, the next question is, how do you bring all that amazing energy and excitement into the bedroom? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover next. So here are 4 really practical ways to enhance that excitement. First up, educate yourselves. Seriously, reading an article or a book about sexuality together can be an incredibly intimate and eye-opening thing to do. Second, talk openly about trying new things, whether it's new positions, toys, maybe even role play. The absolute key is having that conversation first. Third, switch up who initiates. There's nothing like making your partner feel actively wanted and desired. It's a massive turn on. And fourth, set the mood. And hey, this is super personal. It could be candles and music, or it could be a hockey jersey. Whatever works for you two to help you relax and connect. And this is a really, really important point to remember. Consent isn't something you just agree to once. It's an ongoing conversation, even when you've been married for years. Especially when you're trying something new, you've got to check in with each other. Something like a safe word can be a fantastic tool to make sure you both feel completely comfortable and totally in control. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. After exploring all of this, you might be wondering, where do I even begin? So let's bring it all home and talk about your very next conversation. Look, if you take just one thing away from all of this, please let it be this. A great sex life in a marriage is not some isolated event that just happens. It is the direct results of intentionally, purposefully nurturing all kinds of intimacy, the emotional, the conversational, the playful, and the physical, every single day. And that really brings us to the end. So I'm going to leave you with one final, actionable question to think about. Based on everything we've just talked about, what's one new conversation? Maybe it's about a desire, maybe it's a simple compliment, or maybe it's a fun date night idea. What's one new conversation you can have with your partner tonight?